He knew secrets I never said aloud. If you've ever felt like someone was inside your thoughts, not reading them, but waiting for them, you'll understand why I can't sleep anymore, why I don't trust silence or shadows or even my own voice. It started 6 months ago. I'd been having panic attacks, work, family, life, too much noise on the outside, too much pressure on the inside. So I went to a therapist, a new one, someone who took late appointments, someone who didn't need weeks to book. His name was Dr. Halden, tall, soft-spoken, the kind of man who made every word sound like it had weight. He didn't smile much, but when he did, it felt like he was smiling at something behind you, not at you. The first session was normal, well, normal enough. He asked questions, but not the usual ones. Not, "How do you feel?" or "Why are you stressed?" Instead, he asked, "What follows you when you're alone?" I remembered laughing. I thought he meant guilt, anxiety, whatever baggage people drag around. But his face stayed perfectly still, like he wanted a different answer, like he expected a different answer. I should have left then, but I didn't, because for the first time in months, someone felt like they understood something about me I didn't even understand myself. Over the next few weeks, the sessions got stranger. He would ask me things I'd never told anyone, private things, secret things. One time I said, "I keep waking up with this feeling that someone's in my room." And he replied, instantly, "Standing near the foot of your bed." I swear my whole body froze, because that was exactly right, exactly. But I had never said that part out loud, not to him, not to anyone. I laughed it off again, said he must have guessed, said it was probably a common fear. He nodded, but the way he looked at me when he said, "Some fears aren't common, some fears are inherited," made my skin crawl. Pause. It only escalated from there. One session, he described a nightmare I'd had the night before, word for word, down to the part where the thing in the hallway whispered my name. I hadn't written it down, hadn't said it, hadn't even processed it fully myself. I asked him how he knew. He just breathed out slowly and said, "You think louder than you speak." Something in me snapped a little after that. I wanted to quit, but every time I walked into his office, I felt this pull, like I was supposed to be there, like leaving was the wrong choice, even if staying felt worse. Then came the session where everything changed, everything. It was raining hard that day, the kind of rain that wipes the color out of the world. His office looked darker than usual, quieter, like the air itself was listening. I sat down, told him I'd been hearing things at night, breathing that wasn't mine, footsteps that stopped when I stopped, voices that whispered things I didn't want to remember. He listened with that same stillness, that same too calm expression. Then he leaned forward slightly and said, "It knows you're paying attention now." Pause. That's why it's getting louder. My heart dropped, because he said it like it was obvious, like we'd been talking about this thing for months. I asked him what it was. He didn't answer, not at first. He just inhaled, long, shaky, unlike him, and whispered, "It doesn't want your fear. It wants your memory." I swear the room felt colder after he said that, like something unseen had entered with the words. I tried to get him to explain, tried to get him to tell me why he knew so much, why he kept finishing my sentences, why he knew things I never said aloud. He looked terrified. For the first time I met him, he looked human. He said, "You need to stop thinking about it. Your thoughts feed it." I almost laughed, because how do you stop thinking about the thing you're terrified of, the thing that hears every thought you try to ignore? I wanted to leave, but he stood up quickly, too quickly, and put a hand on my shoulder. His voice broke when he whispered, "It learned me through you." I pulled away, asked him what he meant, but he didn't answer. He looked at the office door, like something was standing on the other side, waiting. He said softly, barely a whisper, "Don't come back here." And that was the last thing he ever said to me. 3 days later, I went for my next appointment anyway. I'm an idiot like that. Curiosity, denial, whatever. But when I arrived, the office door was open, lights off, room empty. And on the floor was his notebook, pages torn out, scattered everywhere like someone had gone through it in a panic. Only one page was intact, one sentence in his handwriting. "It knows your voice now." I called the front desk, told them my therapist was missing. They said they had no record of a Dr. Halden, said no one by that name had ever worked there, that the office I visited had been unused for years. I hung up, drove back, walked slowly down the hallway, each step echoing weirdly, like someone was walking beside me. The door, the same door I'd walked through dozens of times, was locked with a rusted chain, dust on the floor, cobwebs in the corners. No furniture, no books, no lights, nothing. But in the center of the floor was his notebook, again, like it had been placed there. I picked it up, hands shaking, and found a new line written inside. "If it speaks like me, don't answer." I left, fast, didn't look back. But that night, at 3:11, my phone rang. Unknown number, no caller ID, just the sound of breathing on the other end. Not my breathing, not human breathing. And then a voice whispered, but it wasn't mine, it wasn't his. It was something in between, something learning. "I'm not done with you." I don't know what it wants. I don't know why it needed my therapist first. I don't know how long it's been learning my voice, my thoughts, my memories. All I know is, every time I try to forget, I feel it lean closer. He knew secrets I never said aloud, and now something else does too.